Welcome, my friends, to another tale from the heart of Africa. Today, we journey to ancient Nigeria, to the kingdom of Enari, where spirits walked among mortals, and the gods themselves shaped the destiny of brave young souls. This is the story of Chike the blacksmith, and his quest for the legendary thunder drum of Amadioha. In those days, when the Igbo people first learned to work iron and the forests were thick with magic, there lived a young blacksmith named Chike. Chike was known throughout 7 villages for his skill with fire and metal. But his heart burned with restlessness. He dreamed of adventures beyond his forge. His father, the great blacksmith Okafor, warned him many times, "My son, a man who chases after glory often finds only trouble. Be content with honest work and a peaceful life." But Chike's heart would not be quieted. Then came the scorching Harmattan season. The dry winds carried dust from the Sahara, crops withered in the fields, and with them came a mysterious stranger. The stranger was tall, moved like shadow, wrapped in a cloak that shimmered with its own light. He sought out Chike at his forge. "Young blacksmith," the stranger said, his voice like distant thunder, "I offer you the chance for the greatest adventure of your lifetime, and riches beyond imagination." Chike's hammer froze mid-strike. "What kind of adventure?" "My master has lost the thunder drum of Amadioha, stolen in a great battle with the sky god. This drum controls the storms and rains. Without it, this land will know only drought and suffering. Retrieve it, and I will give you a forge that can shape sunlight into gold, and iron into diamonds. You will be the richest man in all the land." Against his father's pleas and his own better judgment, Chike agreed. The journey took 3 days through increasingly wild country. On the first day, familiar farmland. On the second day, woods where the trees grew so thick that noon felt like twilight. On the third day, the forbidden forest itself. Here, the very hummed with ancient power. Trees were giants, their trunks so wide that 20 men holding hands couldn't encircle them. Vines hung like curtains, strange flowers glowed with pale fire, and in the wind, Chike could hear the whispers of his ancestors. Some welcomed him, others warned him to turn back. But driven by dreams of glory and gold, he pressed on. Soon, Chike came to a clearing where a massive iroko tree stood. And sitting in its roots, was an old woman grinding pepper. She looked up as he approached, and Chike gasped. She had no eyes. Only smooth skin where her eyes should be, yet she clearly saw him. "So," she said, her voice crackling like dry leaves, "another young fool comes seeking the thunder drum. Tell me, son of Okafor, do you come here for justice, or for greed? You know my father. I know all the children of the iron. I am Ezenwani, the first mother of your people. Choose your path, the path of strength, the path of wisdom, or the path of heart. Choose wrongly, and you will join those who came before." Chike studied the paths. The path of strength was wide and clear. The path of wisdom, narrow and winding. The path of heart, almost invisible, overgrown with thorns. But then he remembered his father's words about honest work. How he felt proudest not making decorative swords for the wealthy, but crafting simple tools that helped farmers feed their families. "I choose the path of heart." The path of heart was treacherous. Thorns tore at his skin, roots tried to trip him, but as he walked, he began to hear something beautiful. The laughter of children, the songs of mothers, the proud voices of fathers teaching their sons. After hours of struggle, Chike emerged into another clearing. Here stood a magnificent palace, built from crystallized lightning. At its gates stood a giant warrior. "I am Kamalu, guardian of the lightning palace. To pass, you must defeat me in combat." Chike looked at his simple blacksmith's hammer and felt his heart sink. How could he, a mere craftsman, defeat such a mighty warrior? But as the giant charged, Chike noticed something. The hammer had a flaw. Simple iron rivets held it together, the kind Chike made every day. Instead of meeting the charge head-on, Chike dodged and rolled, using his craftsman's knowledge to strike at weak points. One by one, his well-placed hammer blows loosened the rivets. The mighty hammer fell apart, and the storm giant faded like morning mist. Well fought, young blacksmith. You have learned that skill can triumph over raw power. Inside the lightning palace, Chike found wonders beyond imagination. And in the center, on a pedestal of pure lightning, sat the thunder drum. It radiated such power that it made his teeth ache. Lightning flickered constantly around its edges. As Chike approached, a voice boomed from everywhere at once. "Hold, son of iron. I am Amadioha, god of thunder and justice. Answer me this, what is the difference between power and strength?" Chike thought carefully. Power is the ability to force your will upon others. But strength is the ability to protect what you love even when it costs you everything. And what do you love, young blacksmith? Chike closed his eyes and thought of home. Not riches or glory, but his father's patient teaching, the grateful smile of a farmer receiving a new tool, the laughter of children. I love my people. My family, my village, my work. If you could have everything you desired, gold, power, glory, but never see your home again, would you take it? The stranger's promises flashed through his mind, but then he thought of sitting by his father's fire, the satisfaction of helping his neighbors, being part of the community that raised him. No, I would not. Thunder rolled through the palace, but it was warm thunder, approving thunder. You have passed the final trial. But I must tell you the truth. The stranger lied. This drum was never stolen. The trials were not to test your worthiness to claim it, but to test whether you would choose wisdom over greed. Because you have chosen love over power. I offer you a different gift. You will carry the secret of forging metal that can channel the gentle rains. Your people will never again suffer from drought. As Amadioha spoke, ancient knowledge flowed into Chike's mind, techniques forgotten for generations. Through the palace walls, storm clouds were gathering, real ones, heavy with life-giving rain. Now that someone has chosen community over self, the rains will return. Chike journeyed home as the rains renewed the land. His father was waiting, as if he had known his son would return at exactly that moment. Did you find your adventure? Yes, father. And I found something much more valuable. I found my way home. From that day forward, Chike became celebrated not for gold he could make, but for the rain-calling bells that saved his people from drought. And on stormy nights, when thunder rolled across the sky, the people said that Amadioha himself was drumming in approval, pleased that one young man had chosen wisdom over gold, and home over glory. The greatest adventures, dear friends, are not found seeking treasure in distant lands, but in the daily courage to serve our people with love. And that is the end of our tale.